All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. Let's kick it off like we do every single week with Tell Me Something Goods. So I'd like to hear some wins about what's happening in your real estate business. Don't really care if your kid did fantastic on the piano this morning with his grandma like mine did. So what's happening good in your businesses? Chime in online, come off mute if you have something you want to shout out.
Hey, Billy. Hey, John. Johnny.
Wano, out of San Jose, and also does business in Nevada.
Okay.
And then we have
Welcome.
Douglas and Judy Burnham in Sun City West, Arizona, and Alicia Salcedo from Plymouth Lake.
Wow, all over the place. Wow, 3 agents 1 week. Good job, Clark. Yeah, give him a round of applause, guys. Come on.
Hey, Johnny, I got something.
Thought everybody was already here that was coming.
Keep thinking that.
Yeah, if you keep thinking that, he'll keep bringing them in. Clark will keep bringing them in. All right, anybody else have anything they want to share? If not, I'm going to start calling. Oh, online.
Johnny, I got something. With Lindsay and JJ, we closed a double-ended deal while I was in North Carolina.
Wow, congratulations. I can't see it.
Relocation listing and a buyer, both ends. It worked really, really well. Those guys were terrific. Lindsay's my girl, and I'm going to smoke a cigar with JJ. Or
there
Lindsay.
you go. I figured, yeah, double ending the deal. That'll buy some cigar money. How did you get the lead?
It was a friend of mine who was being relocated to Tennessee, and they just basically requested me to do the relocation listing, which was total chaos. I may not ever do it again. Never say never, but I may not do a relocation again. Didn't make much money, but the buyer, I brought the buyer side too, and that was a good commission.
Love it. Awesome. All right. Well, sounds working the sphere. All right.
Yep.
Anybody else before I start calling people out? Thank you, Michael, for sharing. All right, Amy, Olivia, can tell me something goods. Yay! How long have you been licensed? Very new. Very new. So in the first 90 days, picked up 2 clients. Where did those 2 clients come from? There you go. You're doing a good job. Well done. All right. And then Haley, how many escrows do you have going on right now? 1 or 2?
4.
You have 4. Okay.
And then,
Round of applause for Miss Haley.
we did a second flip with the client, and then we got in another contract on off market with Johnny, so we'll be on our 3rd flip.
With the same client.
Yeah, same client.
Man, I'm sure he likes us. All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
And then Bang, I think Bang has a number of escrows going, gorgeous. Do you know?
Mhm.
Bang closed 2. There's a ton of something good. Bang on our team closed 2. Missy has 3 go. Missy just closed 1. And now she has 3 down to 2, and she's working on another one. Anybody else have any wins before we move on? All right.
Hey, Johnny.
Good things are happening. The market, has anybody noticed a shift? Like, is the market heating up at all for anybody else in this room? Raise your hand. Come on, give me some feedback. Valerie saying yes, Haley saying yes. So I was on the phone with Ryan Lundquist last Thursday, and we were just talking shop, and he's saying that he's hearing it's like a tale of 2 cities, tale of 2 markets. For some people it's heating up, for some people it's not. And so hopefully more of us will be in that bucket of where it's heating up, but the market is shifting. Instead of us all being in a cold pool, it is starting to heat up. We got some Manu, what do you got? Still there, Manu?
Yeah.
Yay! What's your tell me something good?
Yeah, I closed a model home in Stockton. It was fully furnished. It was a little dumpster fire deal, but we end up closing it. Yesterday we closed it.
Well, congratulations, Manu, on the Stockton deal. It's
Thank
always
you.
fun getting that check and moving away from the dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And then on the next one. Steve, what do you got?
I don't have anything closed yet, but so just I think my main source is like open houses.
Yes, sir.
And so I kind of got off of that for a minute because of my daughter's soccer or whatever. So anyway, back to it. And so this weekend I have 2 open houses scheduled, and then for next weekend, I already have 3, so I'm doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Love
next
it.
Weekend, so.
Dude, thank you for sharing that. That's the type of stuff we want to hear them tell me something good. It's people putting in the work. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Remember what Aaron Rawls
Aaron
said,
Rawls was saying.
do open houses on the same day?
Yeah, he's on the same page with
I
Aaron.
did one this weekend.
Well,
last
there
weekend.
you go. Celebrate the
First one
activity.
in 2 years.
No way.
That's broke the dry spell. When's the next one? Is it gonna be in this presidential term? Okay, yeah.
One every 2 years.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, hey, we got a ton of upcoming events. We will roll into those. We will not be in this room next Thursday. We'll be at Placer County Association of Realtors. Scan the QR code. Please register so we know how many to plan. Brent is flying up Colton Whitney from Southern California. He's gonna be speaking on how to work with buyers. I don't know about you guys, but I am loving buyers right now. Valerie has, I don't know how many ballpark. Val's working with like showing like either in contract or showing property, 5 buyers. Buyers are fun right now, so there's a little bit less so. So he's gonna be teaching us how to leverage buyers and to get more closings. That is this coming Thursday. After that,
Sorry, go back really quick. This we can send this out, right? Invite people.
yeah, invite people. So please come. But if you really want to get the most out of the event, bring somebody. Even if it's somebody that's with EXP, if it's somebody that's not with EXP, bring somebody. And then you'll have somebody to like talk to about what you've learned, rather than it just be you just siloed in your own world. Please bring somebody. Do not come alone. And then swing for the kids, Frank Crandall's epic golf tournament. It's coming up. It'll be September before you know it. So please register. If you want to sponsor a hole, if you want to do anything like that, reach out to him as well. He is open to it, and it's really just a fun tournament. You're in, you're out, you're not there till 7 o'clock at night wishing that you never went in the first place. So it's a fun tournament. Go ahead and scan the QR code. And then moving on. Bold Trails is, there he is. Alex Dyer, he does this every single Friday. And this Friday, what is the topic?
I'm just in time. Hey, so this Friday, we're gonna be going over QR codes. So
Okay.
QR codes related to open houses. Last week, we went over how to, actually, we took last week off for, was it July?
But everyone had homework, didn't they?
That's right. Everyone had homework. I've received 2 landing pages. But I showed you how to build those landing pages. And so this week, we're gonna cover how to turn that into a QR code, as well as all of your print media and social media, how to integrate those.
Love it. All
It'll be
right.
class,
Tomorrow, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock right
In
here.
this room.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Audrey. All right, and then time for our mortgage minute with the in-house lender, Mr. JJ Mack. There he is. Everybody, please welcome to the front of the room, JJ Mack. Round of applause.
Hello.
Happy Thursday. I was seeing Alex. I just wanted to say thank you for my sourdough bread last week. I ate it in exactly about like 8 hours, I think. Me and my wife like devoured it. It was so if you need sourdough bread, I don't know how like it was lucky enough to get a couple loaves, but amazing. All right, something else that's new. You guys heard about this thing called the One Big Beautiful Bill?
Yeah.
So do you guys know the difference between an executive order and then a law that's passed? Do you know the difference between those two?
Executive
Yes.
orders.
Executive
Forced.
order signed by the president alone, law that's passed has Congress and the House.
Right. And so it's a lot easier for the next president to
Get rid of it.
the executive order, but this is actually a law that's passed. It's gonna be a lot harder to get rid of this. So there's some good things, there's some things that maybe not so good, but there's a couple really good things that we need to be sharing with our clients because of it, that real estate related. And so you guys know now that there's the permanent mortgage interest reduction up to $750,000.
Yeah.
That's cool. So now you know if you have a primary residence and 1 second home, you have multiple second homes, you can only do one. But those get up to $750,000 loan amount. You can write off all the interest up to that amount. Obviously, investment properties, you do that on your own Schedule E, but that's a good thing. We should be talking to that about our clients. You know, this is something that can save them money when they go and they buy a house. So if they think their payment's too high, well, are you thinking about the mortgage interest deduction?
Woo, run over that one more time.
So mortgage interest deduction,
Mhm.
when you buy an owner occupied property,
Mhm.
you can write off the interest up to a $750,000 loan amount.
If you own both of the two houses, you said the shared one, do you only, is it one limit or do you get 750 per house?
750 total. So if you own a primary residence and then a second home, you can combine those loan amounts. So if you have one for 500,000 and another for a couple $100,000 loan amount, you can do both of those.
But
If it's over that, you can still write off interest on it. It's just not the full 100%. I think it's, there's a calculation to it, like 30-some%.
What was it?
so the
Tax
interest, so
range.
you add up all the interest over the life of the loan?
Depending on, the interest that you made that year, that you can write off towards your income.
The interest that you
Interest,
paid
mortgage interest deduction for your income, correct?
What do we?
every
used to
year or just that first year?
Well, it's gone a couple different things. Several years ago, it was at $1 million, and they were gonna bring it down to $500,000, and now it's at $750,000. And they've created a law that says this is permanent, unless obviously it goes through Congress and the House and the president signs off on it again. So a very good thing overall for this particular mortgage introduction.
Well, just to finish the thought here, so a year, every year, or just the first year you buy it?
Every year.
Every year.
Mhm. Yeah, so and talk to your CPA, but that is a good thing. You can write off the interest and you can continue to do that. It's been a controversy in this House and Senate.
Well, they were
And-
talking about getting rid of it.
Getting rid of it
a few
completely.
Years ago. I
That's
remember,
right.
and everybody was scared. Like,
Exactly.
So-
Yep, you got it. And that was the thing. They were almost getting rid of it completely. And then, other than that, now you can do 100% bonus depreciation on investment properties. So this allows an investor to write off. So if you buy an investment property and it's just say you go out and you buy a property for $300,000 and you put $100,000 into the property to create some form of, benefit to the property, you can write off that whole $100,000, not over time, the very first year. So it's a
That's huge.
huge benefit. to
JJ, I'm
investors.
sorry I stepped out, but I heard something I liked, Derek. Was there any more to that? I missed the first part.
Just the permanent mortgage interest deduction up to $750,000. And then the 100% depreciation for investors.
Woo, that's
Yeah.
the part I was wanting to hear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's huge. So investment properties, you can write off 100% of that depreciation. And so I was in a training yesterday.
Hold
with
on, you said depreciation or you said earlier the repairs? Which one?
Well, you depreciate your repairs. So it's not like a 1-to-1. So if you have so let's just say you have $100,000 of expenses that you put onto a home, right?
Right,
You go to your tax account at the end of the year, they are going to be able to depreciate that amount of money into your income, right? So your income is deducted by that amount of money. Now, if you go and sell your house next year or in 10 years, you're still having to pay that depreciation back. You still have to cover the taxable amount on that. However, it's at a much reduced tax basis.
Got it.
So initially, if you were to, let's just say your tax basis is 37% at the end of the year. This is usually only deducted by 25%. So no matter what you do, even if you sold your house, you're creating a much smaller tax burden by being able to write that off. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So
That's a good thing.
yes, so any investor clients that you have, this is a great thing to talk about now, right? Why not? This is a huge improvement to what we're doing. Any questions about that? Did I get anything wrong?
So I think before people blast that out all over their social medias, they should really understand it. Because as soon as they put it out on their social medias, people are gonna be asking them questions. left and right. But we can't be CPAs, but we need to have enough understanding to be able to advise our clients
Correct.
correctly on it, so.
just for the record, I still don't know.
Right.
Dr. CPA, just like Steve
Yeah.
said. But if you go to the White House page, it actually gives a really good summary of what was passed. And you can go in there. I'm just reading off of that. Basically, if you look at the actual bill, they have these bullet points of what was done in there. There's a lot more in there. But those are the two things that I saw that were really beneficial to possibly the clients that we have. But yeah, look at those.
Okay, so I put
Yeah.
the whole bill into AI and had
AI summarize all of the advantages to real estate. And I put that into a blog post and I'm sharing it out in my newsletter this week. So.
It's a great
guys
idea.
Sign up for my newsletter, you guys can get that blog, and you can R&D it, you can rip off and duplicate. So you guys are looking.
Review and duplicate.
Do I have to sign up for your newsletter?
Sign up for Alex's
Yeah.
newsletter.
Yes,
That's a great thing. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Getting these things and then putting it out there so that we can tell everybody else about it. That's what we're doing. We're going out and we're sending out this information to all of our clients. So, all right. And then if you guys heard about this week about this thing called the Vantage credit score, anybody heard about that? Yeah. So Vantage credit score is different than a FICO score. All lenders use something called a FICO score. You guys heard of FICO? Yeah, that's because we all use it. It's no matter which way you go, if it's Vantage or FICO, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. Now, when Vantage or when FICO gets those numbers, those credit scores, they base things different in order to form that actual credit score. So if there's derogatory credit, if there's on-time things, if you're opening up, accounts, maybe one is harnessing that sooner than another. Vantage is usually a lot nicer to clients than the FICO. And so this is going to be a huge thing in our industry because now Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have come out and said that they're going to be able to utilize Vantage scores. It's awesome. So they did this whole Fannie and Freddie came out and said, if we use Vantage, we feel like we can help over 5 million more homeowners in America today to get homes than they wouldn't have been able to do with FICO score models.
Awesome.
It's going to open up the door for a lot more clients because the credit scores will be a little bit higher. It's a little bit nicer on the derogatory credit that's being associated with that credit score. So this is coming. It's already been introduced by Fannie and Freddie. They can already do it. It's just we need the systems around it to be able to accept it. So hopefully that's going to be here very soon.
What's your advantage like touch?
So it's all based off of different things. Do you guys know Credit Karma? Credit Karma uses the Vantage score
So Vantage is easier on the borrower than FICO is?
most of the
They're more
time.
forgiving?
Mhm.
afford a house with FICO.
Go to Vantage, yeah. And the other cool thing
But it
about
doesn't really matter unless the lenders are setting, the investors that work with the lenders are the ones setting what the score is, so it doesn't matter if they say a Vantage score has to be 20 points higher than a FICO score, then you're really at the same spot, aren't you?
it'll be the same. So if you need a 620 credit score to qualify, it's gonna be either Vantage or FICO. You're still
Okay.
gonna need that 620 credit score.
They're not gonna change the program.
The credit score requirements will remain the same.
Oh.
Now, the other cool thing about this is it's a lot less money. FICO, pulling these credit reports with FICO, it's costing clients hundreds of dollars, sometimes, $400, $500, $600 at that very end of escrow. This is going to be a huge savings where it only costs somewhere between $14 to $40. So it's going to be a lot better all around. I'm really excited about it.
Question, have you heard anything, because there's a speaker last year or so where she talked about credit repairs and all that. They're gonna change to where if you like max out your credit card, so let's say mine's 28,000, it's maxed out. My credit drops to probably 700. The minute I pay that off, it jumped up to 828.
Yeah.
Right? So that's really good for me. But if my credit card's maxed, then it's a low credit score. She was saying that they're gonna make it so you have to keep your payments below 30% for like 6 months. You can't just pay off right before you want to get a mortgage. Long-term review
That's
of
the
history.
Vantage, that's what he's talking about, Vantage.
She brought up Vantage about that, but she brought up this thing too. So have you heard anything in the industry about that?
I haven't. I'll have to look into that. Usually, like we talked about,
That's gonna hurt people.
yeah, you pay something off and immediately it triggers it.
Wait 30 days or whatever and be like, have to restore it.
So I'll look at that.
Was talking about Vantage, looks at your behavior for the last 2 years.
Mhm.
And it's as far as like, what has your behavior been like, so they can build more an accurate story.
That's why,
Rather,
yeah.
Let's do everything this month, because it's all gonna reflect immediately. That's exactly the same thing we're talking about, is Vantage. That's
Well,
what-
that wouldn't really make sense though, because if the Vantage score is higher, And you're always
I'm
keeping.
just telling you. that's
Well, what they're
you did
saying is
first, let's think
overall,
about
like
it.
if you had one bad thing go wrong, the FICO score is gonna hit you immediately and make it to where you're, okay, you had 800, now you're 640, because you, but Vantage is gonna look at everything over the past 2 years, like you're saying. So it's like, all right, hey, you've been really good. Let's give you some credit for the last couple of years that you've had. So it might not be as bad as what you're thinking there.
Oh, I see what you mean. See, she spun it.
She
as-
probably
she
spun it wrong, yeah.
as it was gonna be harder.
Harder.
And
In
I
some
see what
instances,
you're
it
saying,
might.
because they're able to see the story, you might have had an issue,
Mhm.
but you might have had great history throughout the last, okay, I understand.
And FICO's not going anywhere. Vantage is most of the time gonna be better, but we're still have the opportunity to go with FICO as well.
Yeah.
When's
So-
it coming out?
Some benefits.
The question, is it the lender that likes to go Vantage or FICO? How's that gonna be?
That's what chooses it.
The lender is gonna be able to implement, so Fannie and Freddie has already said that we're gonna use it.
Right.
Usually FHA gets on board as well after something like this. VA sometimes are little sticklers about things, but hopefully FHA comes out and switches things around pretty quickly now too. And now it's just a matter of getting the systems to read the scores.
Yeah, but does the lender choose it? So let's say. it
The
goes-
loan officer can.
Loan officer, So you
Yeah.
have a choice of either one.
And say, hey, let's pull your Vantage score first. It's only gonna cost you $4. Let's just do that.
Right.
And then if that doesn't look good, let's try FICO and see if that'll be better.
Seem like they choose them both just because, why not? I mean, unless there's a big cost difference, the $4 is not a cost difference.
No, it's like, hey, why don't we just run this and see what we get?
Exactly.
If it works out, great. And then if we can run FICO as well and see if we can get a better score and get you a better credit score, better interest rate.
So if you pull both, you can pick a better one. You're not stuck with the lowers.
Nope, because you can pull them both out of the system. You don't have to pull them in the loan origination software. So some benefits there. Any other questions about the credit scoring model, Vantage? So that's cool. I'm excited about that because it's gonna save me a ton of money. Because I have to pay for it if the client doesn't close. Okay, so Fed meeting, right? We're talking about interest rates a little bit here.
27, 28,
The 29th, was that?
27, 28.
So that's the lead up to it. Yep, they're gonna start talking, and then the 29th and the 30th is the meeting. And then so the 30th, they're gonna come out and say, anybody know what the percentage chances that they're gonna lower interest rates on the 30th?
50 this.
20.
The 5% chance they lower rates on July 30th. Valid one, yeah. So, but some good news though. September is we're looking forward to September though. So probably July, August, nothing's gonna happen, but September 16th and 17th is the next meeting. Anybody know what the chances are then?
2%.
I don't know,
90%.
70%.
Really?
So
Seriously.
there's
chance.
benefits there.
And JJ, does it go up in,
They pull the
December
Fed
too?
members.
Okay.
I think it
So the
gets
Fed
up into
members
the
are the ones that
90s.
say, hey, I want to leave things where they're at. And this Fed member will say, I think we should do something. And so they pull these and then they have this plot chart. And we see the plot chart of how much they think they should lower. Do they think they should lower by 25 basis points, 50 basis points?
Got it.
Their thoughts are 70% reduction by 25 basis points in September.
Big money.
So
crazy.
remember though, if they do this, more than likely, there's some leakage that gets taken, that people get to know what's going on. So we usually know ahead of time. And so that will usually be implemented within the couple weeks following, before that date. So just remember that date isn't the date that you're going to see the mortgage rates go down. It's usually the weeks before that. And so as you're talking to clients, make sure they realize like, hey, just because you're waiting for this date doesn't usually mean the interest rates go down on that date. It's usually the weeks before that. And then the day that they do lower rates, a lot of times the rates will actually go up because of people selling off on bonds and whatnot. But that is a good thing to tell your clients about, so you're not sitting around waiting for that time. Interest rates are still sitting there floating around in that, mid to higher 6% range, but we're out of the sevens now. It's hopefully a thing in the past, and we've moved past that. So any questions about rates, loan programs that you guys have heard about that you want to know about now this last week? Anything at all? No.
You knew how to question.
Manu? Oh, he's
Hi.
not here. Is he up here?
Yeah, I had just quick question about the new big beautiful bill, and they said they're going to maybe possibly allow truck drivers to write off, like, let's say they bought a truck, they can write off 100,000 of their, in their expenses, the whole purchase. But then when they go to qualify for something, that won't be counted out of their gross income. Is it true?
Well, I mean, that's always kind of been the case. You can always add depreciation back into your income. So if you've created some sort of an expense that you've depreciated over time, you can add that back in as income. So
And
that
say-
is something that has been the case, yes.
Oh, okay. So it's
So-
not new.
Well, I'd have to look and see exactly what you're referring to, but yeah.
Might be talking
Okay.
about accelerated depreciation. So I've heard something also, like, I think section 179, where if you have equipment, like for a truck driver, for instance. So I don't know the term, but I guess they've accelerated it.
Oh, nice.
So much like with the houses, where you can write it all off in 1 year. I've heard, but I haven't looked into it, but I've heard they've accelerated that so you can take that depreciation sooner. So in that case, like you're talking 100,000 for a trust. So, but again, I haven't looked into details. That's just kind of what I've heard.
Yeah, I'd imagine if it was depreciated, it would be on the tax as a depreciation expense, and you would be able to add that back in as income. So more than likely, that would still, even though it's accelerated, you still should be able to utilize that as your income.
Just want to make a comment on it. So like with the accelerated depreciation, like that's kind of one of our qualifying questions when we're selling properties. Have you done accelerated depreciation? Because if they sell it beforehand, they're gonna need a 1031 because they will be taxed on.
Yep.
So it's not really about what did you buy it for? What are you selling it for? They'll get hit with gains because.
It's a big deal.
Yeah,
So we're here to help.
you're right. And a lot of times though,
Big deal.
it is a big
It's a
deal.
You
Yeah,
haven't had this-
it's a big, beautiful deal. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful deal.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, JJ, for coming. Thank you. A lot of good information. New lending could be so exciting. All right, up next, we have April and Chad. Chad's just gonna be, he's just briefly online. We just want to introduce him. But they're gonna be speaking about how to reboot your thinking using some special thought patterns. So here's the mic. Everybody welcome Coach April.
Hello, everyone. Great to see some very familiar faces. Long time no see. So I think I see Marie hanging out somewhere back there. So I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to camp this out. Chad, do you want to do a quick introduction? Are you still here? You might not be. So we had planned on starting at 10:15. So what happens in the real estate world is it never happens on time, right? So for those of you that don't know my name, April Ballestero, I have been a coach and trainer for a multitude of real estate companies. And now not only am I a trainer and coach in California, I actually teach a leadership academy in New York for the whole state of New York for Big I Leadership Academy. We have coach companies literally from the east to the west, and actually have clients in Tennessee. I've heard that come up a couple of times, and that's actually where my home base is now. Although my daughter and my grandson are here locally, we are originally from California. I am an EXP licensed agent, and Brent Gove is one of my superiors that I get to recruit too. I have a couple team members online as well joining us today. And today, what's this reboot about? How many of you have to unplug your computer or shut off your phone a multitude of times? Just a few of you, right?
Hmm.
What if we told you you could do that with your mind? Wouldn't that be exciting, right? So what I'm going to ask you to do is to bring in an open mind. And now, by the way, JJ's around here still. One of the things I want to celebrate with you is you never know who you're sitting next to. One of my lenders, when I was in full-time real estate, I went to a leadership event and she sat me next to Kurt Rising. And anybody know who Kurt Rising is? Just a few of you, right? And I went after him one day and I actually got in a meeting. We made friends. We had amazing conversations and I got the opportunity to go sit in his office. And he said to me, "You're not going to coach my people until you coach me." He's now one of my clients, him and his wife. So you never know who you're going to get the opportunity to have as a client. So I just want to open you up to any conversation could be an opportunity. Are you ready to have some conversations today?
Absolutely.
Yay! So this is a very open experience. You can ask questions, you can engage. I wholeheartedly believe, even the ones in the back, I saw a couple hands up earlier. I think I saw your hand up earlier. Just celebrate the opportunity to use your voice today. Okay, so you're ready for the next slide. For just a minute, I'd ask you, and I'm going to tell you some of my own stories as we move along. I want you to write down something that you've struggled to achieve. Just for a minute. Yeah, 35 seconds. And hopefully there'll be about 3 people comfortable enough to share what that was. Anybody ready to share? Sure. Oh, CRM mastery is a joyful process for everyone in any industry, by the way. So it's and what makes it a struggle, out of curiosity? There's a huge learning curve in utilizing the technology. Is that what I'm hearing? Beautiful. Okay. AI around it is somewhat overwhelming. Yeah, AI itself is a mental model system that is light years among us, by the way. Mental model system. It's really, really powerful. So imagine all our brains multiplied by infinite numbers. That's AI. Just to celebrate. Welcome AI. It is a valuable gift, and you just get to learn it as you grow. So I'm going to come back to that. Second person. Please, and then
for me, it's focus. I'm not sure if anybody else can relate to this, but there are just so many different forms of lead generation out there now. The open houses, you know, just prospecting, phone calls, content creation. I feel that I want to get myself out there to so many different people, and I have all these ideas to where I overwhelm myself with all of the choices that it leads to not doing anything at all. So I'm struggling with focus. I just need to pick one and just run with it.
Love that. And before we end today, I can guarantee you'll have a question to apply for that specific item.
And I like your shirt.
Thank you.
Matching.
We are. We got everything down. Thank you for that. Your turn.
So mine consistently managing my time.
Okay.
Time blocking and honoring that. I feel like I've just recently started to get a hold of it because I'm tired of the results I'm getting from not managing my time. You know, it's one thing to set, okay, I'm gonna time block, I'm gonna lead gen from 9 to 12, but then 9 still always comes up. I'm scrolling or, you know, and then I'm like, you know, squirrel. There's always some shiny object that's, and, man, I read something that Dan Beer put out. I subscribed to he's the EXP agent, died with Kyle Whistle. Anyway, he said back in the day, a new agent's ramp up was 50 calls a day for the first 30 days. Then it was 40 calls a day for the next 30 days, then 30 calls a day, and then 20 calls a day. And that was the minimum. You didn't go below 20 calls a day. And he said, every agent who followed that pattern has a massively successful business today. Those that didn't are not even in the business. So the delta between the two is night and day. It's like a light switch. You're either in the business or you're not. And I think, holy crap, you know, if I held myself to that standard, where would I be in? So just knowing that there's nothing more important than making our calls. That's our job. It's not selling real estate, it's making calls and solving people's problems, but you've got to make the calls or you don't have anybody to talk to help solve their problems. So if I held myself to that standard, I know the results I'll get. So
you said a whole lot there. Very cool. It was beautiful. Actually, I want to celebrate it. So that being, we want to celebrate the fact that you are aware there were multiple items there. Not only was there time management of time blocking, there was building relationships that says, I know statistically, and by the way, I've proven it. I don't know if anybody ever used the KDNA program they had years ago. I would track all my agents that I was coaching and training, and statistically, it could take up to 500 calls before they got a brand new agent got their first transaction. I have one agent I coach that actually in every 3 for sale by owners, she got a listing. Every 3, and I put her on many of the stages because it was a lot of fun to let her celebrate that. She has some powerful numbers. And when you track your numbers and you track your time, so one of the agents that she was on actually ended up becoming one of my coaches. She actually used to refute what you had said. Well, I used to think I didn't want to have that strict type of schedule. And so I just asked her, just start with one thing. Contemplate what would one thing look like to put in your schedule and how would you increase your return on investment and energy of that time? And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that because you also said, if I just made the call. And so one of the things I want everyone to hear, and you started the gentleman in the back, and I forgot to ask names in advance. So the gentleman in the back said, you know, CRM, that mastery, that process, and there's so many amazing tools in CRM. Yet we forget the perfect point of why you want a CRM, why you want to make calls, why you want to focus. Say again?
Communication.
Absolutely. And what is the value of communication to the person you're communicating with? Trust. Thank you. That's a great word. What value is it to you?
Having the conversations, learning what they want, being top of mind.
Learning what they want, being top of mind. All those are valuable. If we go to the next slide for just a minute. Thank you all for participating, by the way. Thinking is at the root of everything you do, whether you think it or not. Would you agree with that? So you'll notice on the slide, 50,000 thoughts per day. 90 to 95% of them are completely unconscious. We call them a bias or a liability. You are naturally operating in what I call the wonderful insanity circle. Anybody remember that? We just naturally react like that. So you're going to notice, now these are roots. This is thinking. So what you were all just working through is some thinking patterns, right? And now you'll see that there's some orange, yellow, red, and green up on top. Our opportunity is to help people discover what are their performance and behaviors and what's the root beneath that. So your focus, you're building your CRM, you're building the thinking pattern to have time management, to invest in the people you get to serve. Those are all thinking patterns. Does everybody resonate with that? So are you ready to move on to the next slide, sir? Could you imagine, could you imagine an actual tool to discover how you think in less than 15 minutes? Believe it or not, it took me decades to learn about this tool. And once I got exposed to this tool, I was figuring it out long before I got exposed to it. Now I can actually give a document to somebody and show them how they're thinking. It looks like on the next slide. Thank you, Jose. I appreciate your help. Now, by the way, when you take this assessment, I will not give you all of these tools because it will overwhelm you. Your brain is like, wait, that's too much. What I am going to share with you, and I'm going to come back to that greatest thing to achieve in a minute. You'll see there's a lot of green here, and this is on the self view. You'll also see myself, life goals, and then up on top is the world, people, priorities, and process. I have spent decades now helping people discover how they think and how they can get on purpose about their thought patterns to achieve what they truly want to desire and the goals and purpose they want to fulfill. And go into the next one. Remember, it's a scientific value assessment. You're laughing.
I ask other people that question.
What were you thinking? How many people have had this happen? More often than not. And just saying that, what was I thinking in that aspect and what could I be thinking instead? So we'll go in one more question. You ready for one more? Next one. Well, let me clarify. I had one sequence or a slide in the middle. Anybody had different colored glasses you put on? And you have different, like a red colored shiny, you ever heard of that rosy glasses? Rose colored glasses. Everybody has their own lens. You come into everything with your own story. Every time. So I'm gonna say, what's your favorite ketchup? Anyone else have anything else on Hyams?
There's a sugar-free one at Trader Joe's.
The sugar-free one. Do you understand that Hyams has owned your story? They have created brain space And they've owned by their brand, your story.
Yep.
That's called great marketing.
Yeah.
That's our opportunity, is to own somebody's brain. I have many clients, and now for those of you who don't know my background, I sold 32 homes my first year in real estate. And do you know what training I got for that? No. Here's the contract. Don't miss these 2 lines. Go figure it out. Now, many years later, I've also taught high school for real estate. I had high school students go to all the different real estate companies. It was a lot of fun. San Juan School District. First time I got a teaching credential in 2 weeks, and everybody was shocked. How'd that happen? It was amazing. While I was still teaching real estate, while I was raising my children who are now adults. I'm beyond thankful to share that I got plenty of stories to share with you. As they're appropriate, I'll share, okay? So remember that we're all bringing stories as we come to the next question. Thank you, sir. How often does this happen? Anybody pick up on something on the slide? You see a visual to pay attention to?
Seen that?
Exactly. What's the story there?
Different roles that the same person can play.
Absolutely. And is it possible their thinking impacts their thinking, what roles they're buying into?
Or predetermined prejudice.
Beautiful awareness. Has anybody ever heard somebody say, get up on the stage and say, I'm the doctor of real estate? I've had it happen. Those of you that know Mike Ferry, I've been to an event and one of his speakers got up with a coat on and says, I'm the doctor. I believe Leslie's in the room. She is the doctor of short sales.
Yes.
Leslie, are you still there?
I am, yeah. So
You do remember.
yeah, I had this amazing campaign.
Yes. So one of the things you get to learn about your mindset is you are bringing a story in a way you want to apply your story. And they can cause you to make assumptions or judgments. Everybody following so far? One more slide, please. There is also that hidden barrier, those red, orange, yellow leaves you saw on that tree. That 80 to 95% of the time you're operating from a thought pattern that's actually keeping you stuck. And we can tell you that in less than 15 minutes. Because we want you to understand, one more slide, sir. You're just out of balance. You're in a thinking trap. Sound familiar? That hamster wheel? One more slide. It is not your fault. You're not broken. This is just something to be aware of and how to apply a new thinking pattern. Would that be interesting to you? Be valuable. So that's what the reboot program is all about. So I told these amazing Johnny and Jose that helped set me up to be here today. And Brent and I have had many conversations. And one of the things that I get to do is help people discover how they can achieve the greatest desires. Now, may I share one more story with you about my beat gain and then an experience that happened. So as I told you, I started in the real estate world. I've been training, teaching, coaching for many years. So my first, those of you that may know Dan Jacuzzi, he has a multitude of companies around here. I was hired to be the director of sales coaching and mentoring, traveled a multitude of offices, improved the lenders by 15 transactions, the real estate agents by 6 transactions, went on to Keller Williams and doubled their company dollar in 10 months. And then officially went out on my own. I had 38 people in my coaching program when I went into Keller Williams, and I went to 85 people in my coaching program. What do you think caused that? Say more. Success. I would be, what do you think had to happen for them to buy in to make that impact?
Confidence in yourself.
Say more, please.
Your confidence that exudes in your product that you're offering.
Interesting. So you're saying their confidence that they owned to increase that result. Beautiful. Anybody heard of the name Susan Scott? She wrote a book called Fierce Conversations.
Yes.
Yep.
And there is a quote in it that says, every conversation is a relationship. Every conversation is a relationship. Whether you're having a text message, whether you're having a LinkedIn message, a Facebook message, it doesn't matter. A conversation here. When I walked up to JJ, he came up and kindly shook my hand and said, who are you? In a nice way, of course. And we gotta find out, oh, our people we know are actually sharing time together today. Just from a conversation. So, yet, one of my B games is I have this desire to meet people's expectations. Anybody have the terminology recovering people pleaser? A few of you. Right? And sometimes when we get caught up in that bias, we have a tendency, we're focusing on what we think their expectation is, what their story is, and we create our story. And are we truly meeting their expectation? No. It so happens my A game, my number one A game is caring about others. And caring about others says, what really matters to you? What's it like to be in your shoes right now? What would really matter to you at this moment? Is my agenda in that at all? No, and here's the good news. When you feel valued, seen, and heard, will you create a different result? Will you reboot the experience? Just paying attention. One more slide, please. What have we told you is not who you are, it's where you are. And one more slide. We can give you a new GPS. We can walk you around what you've been day by day, obstacle by obstacle, recreating. Would you open that? Yay. One more slide, please. There's a simple shift. This is the question I thought you might want to appreciate. This is actually a book called The Centering Question. One of my coaches wrote it, and it's called The Answering the Central Question. What choice can I make? What action can I take in this moment to create the greatest net value? May I ask you to write down what net value means in this equation? Everybody ready?
Happiness.
You're ready to answer it. Net value means all people considered, including myself. All people considered, including myself, short and long term, pros and cons. So I'm at an open house and a person walks in. I get to ask, what choice can I make? What action can I take in this moment to create the greatest net values? Considering them, considering myself, short and long term, pros and cons. It's a really simple question. Yet it's a very idealistic question. Agreed? And believe it or not, we actually have tools that will give you more questions based off of your highest asset, which I just did with this gentleman for my centering questions for caring about others. What's it feel like to be in his shoes right now? Those are questions we will give you based off of what your asset is. This is one of the questions that we will give everybody. Next slide, please. So I would like the opportunity with Chad, who is also, Chad I recruited as one of our coaches for One Light Ahead. And some of you may know Chad Hyams. He's a speaker in the real estate circuit. We've all been around for quite a long time. And a lot of us that have been in this industry, I think I'm going on 24 years now. We all are blessed to hear each other's reputations, know where we've served. We want to help you master your A game. We want you to determine what thinking patterns you can bring to your CRM, to your focus, to your time blocking. And we give you actual muscle memory and muscle building worksheets to create that A game. Would that be of interest to all of you?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So we've got an offer.
We'll go back one slide.
We can. Like that mental muscle guy?
Back one slide.
This is your reboot. Oh, you went forward. You want to go back for a minute? We'll get back to it. He's giving you a four heads up.
Oh, screw this.
Which one
Which, go back
What choice can I make to?
all the way. What choice can I make? So it's right before that. Nope, the other way. Nope.
I'll text it to you.
One more.
Jose, you're fired.
One more.
One more. There you go.
You're fine.
Simple shit.
Thank you.
Okay, go back to the mental muscle one by a minute. The reason we love using this fun visual is how many of you have got on a treadmill and you could do 30 minutes at once? Good, there's a few of you. Yay, how many of you have had 5 minutes and okay, I can go to the 10? Right, thank you. Not every one of us gets on and can do 30 minutes or go do a 5K and celebrate in a quick amount of time, right? Not everybody has that mental muscle. When we, it's just like going to the gym, our brain, now what I forewarn you about the programs that we offer, they're not easy. You have been in comfort zone for a very long time. You've been using a thought pattern that you've been using for a very long time, and you think it serves you. And by the way, it has. It's got you to this place. All we're going to do is help you see how you can reframe it and build some new mental muscle, right? Next slide, please. So again, we want to give you some more green on your tree. We are offering, it's normally $2,500. It is 7 sessions. You have 4 group sessions, and then you have private one-on-one coaching with Chad or myself every other week. And then you get the full online learning platform and the worksheets to 20+ tools. And they're all virtual, so you do not have to be in person. They can be from your home, they can be from a coffee shop. It does not matter. You do need to be fully present, and you need to be visual and audible so we can hear you. So, of course, those of you that know, anytime you invest in yourself, it has a 3 times to 7 return on investment. So is it for the good news? Go ahead to the next slide, please. There's one more. This is a reason for all the people that have done this. I've been teaching this for over 4 years. We actually have a retreat offer after this, and I'm actually doing a retreat this weekend in Tahoe at a beautiful Zephyr Cove Presbyterian retreat, which I love. I walk people. I wrote a book called Slaying the Onion. It is in its 2nd edition about walking through layers, and that we are actually physically walking the layers in Tahoe this weekend. So you have to do this program first before you can walk the layers in person. It's a lot of fun. It's a very unique experience, and you find out how poorly we communicate with each other. Anybody resonate with that? Just a thought. So would that matter to you? Having increased productivity, higher retention, stronger relationships, would any of those things matter to you? Beautiful. Anyone else need any other aspect on this slide before we move forward? Good, one more slide. So you have the ability to text or go, if you want to click on that reboot link. It actually goes right to, would you like to get off of autopilot? It's time for a reboot. It gives you all the details, all the things you'll walk away from. Here's the kicker. We require an application process to get approved to go through this program. Because what I've told you is it's unique, and this is not for everybody. These are for people that are truly ready to decide they want to focus, so they want to get on purpose about time management and the thinking pattern that gets them focused on why it matters and how the value will be in net value, all people considered, including myself. Does that help? So any questions on any of this? Would it be all right if I share a personal story? Yeah. Do I have enough time? Okay. How many of you remember the story, the news story about a young man that was kidnapped? 2019. Anybody remember that? I was hosting a 4-day event. I'd hired my son to come fly out from Tennessee, where our family home is, and I was up in Nevada City. And my son had come and helped me do the technology, because I love technology with everybody, and he did all the technology for me. And I had 3 other coaches there to speak with me. He had come in, done that night. He had borrowed my truck that night. I got a call at 2:30 in the morning. Mom, they've got the truck, and he's in complete tears. That boy was my son. I read about him slaying the onion. 3 years later, the 2 guys that kidnapped him went to jail. My son and I were at the place that he got away from them, talking to police officers for 3 hours after that. And now, can you say that that impacted my business a little bit? Just a tad. It was a very difficult situation. And one of the gifts that I truly, wholeheartedly want you to walk away with today is that time matters, focus matters. And I can tell you that little boy, one of the police officers called me and said, "Is he sane?" I'm like, I haven't heard this kid cry. He's 23 years old. I haven't heard this kid cry in years. You better figure out what the heck happened. And I had to answer that question multiple times. He was kidnapped right up on, oh gosh, I always have a heck of a time remembering the exit. Oh, right, you can tell my blind blocked some of the things. Up in Loomis, just above Loomis, he went to a gas station, went to get gas, pulled over to go to sleep, and they thought, and sadly, from talking about it, what I've learned is this happens way too often. People are kidnapped regularly and some people don't get their kid back. He ran away. He was more hurt that nobody would pick him up because he was running. He had to go find a way to get help. The hardest part for me was going into the police officer having to identify something that they took out of my truck and watching the video of the guy bragging about it on Facebook. Can you imagine that? There are some people's thought patterns that are not all that healthy. But what I did learn from that, why I felt I was nudged to share this with you, because it's not a story I enjoy sharing, as I'm sure you can understand, is what I watched from my son that weekend is we went to work the next morning. We were at that with the cops until 5:30. And even one of the detectives, when he went to a softball game, somebody walked up to him and said, "Did that really happen?" And he's like, "Yeah, it really happened." But you know what? At 8:30 that next morning, my son and I went to work. And we worked and delivered that whole weekend. I don't remember much of it. I can say I'm very thankful for all the people that served with me. And what I do, I'm very, most importantly, welcome and thankful about is that I can stand here today telling you, had I not had the tools and the muscles and the thinking patterns to get focused on what the net value in the moment is, I wouldn't have been able to keep moving forward, and nor would my son. Now, mind you, we went through a lot of hell after that. And yet the gift is my son's in a really good place now. He's still got some moments. I'm in a good place now, yet, and I've been building a business across the country in the journey to help people understand that the moment matters. In this moment, what choice can I make? What action can I take in this moment? Because that's the only one we're guaranteed. Agreed? To create the greatest net value. Now, I can teach a whole lot of other principles because I've been teaching real estate and coaching and training for 20+ years in a multitude of industries now. Old Town Pizza is one of my clients. I'm representing them. They said to reach out to Jess. She will be happy to bring some events to you at any point in time. She's one of my clients. I work to be quick. Is there any other questions or thoughts and support I can help you with? Great. That's simple.
All right, everybody. Wasn't this an incredible meeting?
Yeah.
Walked through a lot of great stuff. Go ahead, throw. So what's the best way? I saw a text code.
Yes, there's a text and there's a link, and I can forward that through. Jose, you have all that too, right?
Yep. So if you have any questions, reach out to Jose. If you don't know where he is, he's in our office back there. Always come by. If you have questions about printers or food or anything, or free food, he can help. He can help with it. All things Jose. All right. So just a quick reminder, we will not be here next week. We'll be at PCAR. Please come. Please bring a friend, and we'll see you then. Have a great weekend, everybody.